So my youngest, we have multiple. We've got like the general family chat, but we have a thing where it's just me and the three kids. That one is
Mm.
appropriately named Nerd Stuff, and I gotta appreciate because it's just like this is even too much for mom.
Right.
Usually it's gaming stuff or whatever. And I appreciate that she's actually really careful about which channel she puts this stuff into. So I get a text from
Mm,
her
mm.
at like 4 o'clock today saying, "Hey dad, how to kill a problematic player in D&D?" I respond, "Player or character?" She's like, "I will take either option." So she's not running a game, but one of her friends that I've run games for in the past
Uh-huh,
is running, is running a game in the D&D club that they have at the middle school. And
uh-huh.
because she has problems saying no, they're playing with like 10 players because of
Of
course
course.
they are. They're 12 years old. Of course they're in a 10 person, like part of the,
Correct.
that's part of the admission.
Well, because if you split the groups up, then someone's getting left out, and I
Yeah.
mean, it then it becomes like a whole political thing, and
12 years old for a 10-person D&D game is fucking table stakes, like, right? But
yeah.
apparently she says we're in this large skeleton boss fight. He doesn't even have a character sheet. He's just making up his stats on the spot and telling us what damage he's doing.
Uh-huh,
Also, we already told him weeks ago he couldn't be in the campaign because we already have 10 people and he came anyway. Sorry for
uh-huh,
spamming. What do? And I'm like,
uh-huh.
my first this is my first reaction is if he doesn't have stats, then he doesn't have initiative, so he's not in the combat rotation. Ask him to second option, ask him to leave, or ask the teacher or the counselor to ask him to leave. He's not in the group. He's pushing in where he's not welcome. He's being a bully about it. Tell the teacher. Says thank you from a grateful.
That's what I would've said too, is I would've pulled the teacher card immediately. That's the
You
advantage of
just
having it.
if it's school, yeah. Straight up game thing though, he just never gets a turn. And this is probably what I would do just to drive the point home. You let him say whatever it is that he says about what he does, and you go, cool. And don't write anything down or make any adjustments to
Yeah,
anything and then go on to the next thing. Like if you're gonna play
yeah.
pretend, man, you can play pretend. I'll give you 5 seconds to play pretend, but then we're just gonna go to the thing because you're not actually in the game.
I have been a real dick about that stuff in the past. I was at a game when some kid was doing that to me, and I said, "You continue to toss fitfully in your sleep as you dream about things that are happening."
Perfect. Flawless. No notes. 100%. Full props to a 12 or 13-year-old girl who comes into the D&D club and says, "I will run the table because I want there to be a game and therefore I will run the game."
Right,
Because
right, right.
I mean, who amongst us has not shouldered that yoke,
Yes.
or multiple yokes simultaneously? I don't want to even think about how many
Now you're gonna
Shadowrun
make me get into this. Oh, yeah.
the number of Shadowrun games I ran like in parallel. I was basically every GM for my own personal Shadowrun West Marches game for like a year in college.
Yeah, I had a campaign where every week we put it was the same continuous game, but we rotated systems every week. So in the first week, it was system X, and then we took
Oh,
those same characters and translated them to system Y
wow.
and played the next
That's
week,
cool though. I mean,
it was cool. It was cool because it was actually shocking what a different flavor the game had.
that's kind of tempting with this too, but anyway,
I
all
mean,
right.
every week was too much.
So there you go. Gaming tips for whoever's watching this on what to do about something that we should all be well old enough to be able to deal with like adults. But we're all just we're just like, how did I explain it to Sean? I'm like a level 43 12-year old. We're all just 12-year-olds with a little bit of extra XP on. Okay. Do you remember where we were? I remember. I
Well, so
remember
I remember
Baz.
we had our bottle episode last
We had
time, where we had the guy
oh
who we picked up in the corrupting star who was
yes.
split across 2 times, right?
Our Star
And
Trek
you
bottle episode, yeah.
Yep, and so you lost your sword into him,
I do
and then
remember
somehow
that.
found your sword because the sword went back in time,
No,
and that's how you originally got the sword.
I don't think I still think I don't have it, but I think that's
No,
how, yeah, I
you
don't
don't,
have it.
but the discussion was that the original way you got it is because you went back in time and you found it
I have
and gotten
I have ended the section of my time loop where I intersect with the sword. Uh
yeah.
with that sword.
So anyway, so we finished that, and so we think that we've dealt with the drama from that we picked up in the Furnace World / Corrupting Star thing, and then we made a jump.
And it did not go well.
It went very poorly, and in fact, we ended up having to spend quite a bit of time extending the map because
Yes. What a
the jump went very poorly, and so now we have a much longer journey ahead of us.
it's gonna go great. Yeah, where's the shared? So now we're instead of
Yeah,
7 or 8 or whatever steps along on
yeah.
the get to the waypoint of Cobalt Reach as a difficult.
Yeah.
It's now formidable. We have a mere 2 marks on it.
Yeah.
Boo. Okay.
Yeah. Because we did, get to the waypoint and did a full miss, and then tried to do,
Well, we got to
get to the waypoint.
we did the jump was successful and then the conclusion was bad. Now we need to figure out where the hell we even are, which you wouldn't let us do ahead of time because we didn't want to spend 2 weeks thinking about that.
Correct, and I also knew that we probably would forget, which is
Yeah, which is so. Let us dig up. Let's dig up some oracles and see where we are. So we want waypoints update by Sean Tom. Waypoint oracles are spacefaring waypoints for the outlands. I rolled it by accident.
which table are you looking at?
I was looking at. Oh, you deleted it. All right. I was looking at spacefaring waypoints of the owl for owl. That's under the waypoint oracles underneath the. I'm gonna roll it again because it didn't. Oh, there we go. Planet reference guide, page 38 and 39, which means we could probably go back over to the planet
Planet oracles.
oracles. Rocky World. I'm also going to look at the
I think this is the first time we found an actual oh, no, I
planet
guess the furnace well, no, I guess we had that furnace one.
stellar object. Blazing blue star.
Okay.
Let's go with atmosphere. Sure. None or thin. What we see from space. Foreboding archive.
Oh, here we go again.
A rocky world with no atmosphere, a foreboding at archive observed from space.
Okay.
Planet side feature. Glassy impact craters. Okay. I'm getting a real good mental picture of this place, although an archive that's visible from space is a lot to imagine.
Yeah.
Do we want to see if there's a settlement? Or do we want
No.
or does it not feel like a settlement kind of
I mean, unless we wanna go down the whole rabbit hole like you were talking about last week, there are settlements out here that
are just
don't don't fit into our understanding of how the history of this sector evolved, which
well,
is fine.
no, I
I think
think
but that would be a decision.
I think the idea that I had in my mind is that little splinter groups have gone off and said, I want no part of this thing, or they just decided that they were going to put up a little homestead someplace or make something work. Or there's pirates, or there's, whatever. Your libertarians, no, space libertarians, or whatever. These
You're
out
right.
their own thing.
Well, it's yeah, I mean, it's the Waco people or whatever.
I think that would be I think it's interesting enough to like first of all, I love the idea of us going astray and bumping into like how'd you even get here? We kind of
Right?
don't know.
Yeah?
But it's a pretty low chance. And there isn't. It's a 75% chance there will be no settlement on a rocky planet.
Oh,
The odds are not depending on the world, the settlement chances are higher or lower, but rocky. So in this, so foreboding archive, glassy impact craters on a rocky world with virtually no atmosphere on was it an intensely blazing blue star.
okay.
That is where we are now. There's nothing bad necessarily happening about that, but let me see if I bet I have a. Let me just go a browsing that I have got a.
What do you think of that? I found, like, a blue archive planet thing where it's
You're
like, maybe that's a giant archive, but I wasn't sure that's what that meant, but I figured I'd toss it out and see what you thought.
I mean, I like that idea. So in this thing, it's not on the planet. It's just like in
Well,
orbit
because you
around it.
said it was visible from space, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like you could see it down on the.
Right, but it also could be that it's above the planet, right?
Yeah,
And it's like a big floaty thing
I'm thinking.
above it. But, I mean, I'm open to whatever, it's just that's the first thing that I thought of is that.
I do. So what I'm thinking. I think you should definitely keep that image around. What I'm thinking is like almost like so. If it doesn't have any atmosphere, maybe it's not very big. So rocky, like a moon, like size
Mm,
thing,
mm,
like not like size of our moon kind of thing, and a mount Olympus in the Mars sense of the word, sized structure that
right,
is, and there is some atmosphere, but it's like the kind of it's like wispy at 2 meters, and 2 to 4 meters is like wispy, and this thing is mostly functionally in space
right.
as like, but I say a mountain, but like a Belize style sort of pyramid
Uh-huh.
kind of thing.
So that's like Jedi Archive vibes, right? Like, you've got this
Sure, I wasn't.
archive that's in the middle of
Yeah,
nowhere,
I wasn't.
that was abandoned.
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking about that. So functionally, what we're really saying is it's another damn vault. But
Mhm.
I think, and you're the expert on this, like your character is. So my question then becomes, you know what? I'm going to actually a little bit off the red because it's not. We went a weird way. We went askew. So we find ourselves. But my thing is, if this is where we're going with this, my question then becomes like, I know all the precursor locations are very old. They don't seem like they're primitive. This strikes me as being ancient, even relative to
Right, it's what we
that's
we 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 hypothesized the existence of the anticursors or anticursors, ANTE, that were even earlier than the precursors, based on some of the artifacts that we found in precursor vaults that they had referred to their own things that they had found, that they also did not understand and built on top of.
because
I
it
wouldn't be surprised if that
because this is giving me been around since God was a baby, kind of.
I mean, the thing is, it's gonna take the computer quite a while to figure out what to go next because it's really having trouble getting a star lock right now. It thinks they will be able to, but it's gonna be current estimate is 18 hours. So, I
You Hey, you
mean
want to go down there? You want to go down
I
there?
mean,
You're yeah. I mean, we could. We could do a lot.
he mops a small piece of drool from the corner of
we
his
we
mouth.
could. I don't care one way or the other. It's fine. Doesn't mean anything to me.
I know what we should do. This is a new thing that we can do that I've never been able to do before. We should see if your daughter can do a vibe check.
Mixed feelings about.
I mean, given what she did at the last place, which turned out to be a big problem, and we probably would have gotten torn into, through time and space if she hadn't been able to tell us to get out of that corrupted star race.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's saved our bacon multiple times already.
So what I think the dialogue is, I don't think that's going to be that. I start to say I don't think, and she from somewhere walks in going that's going to be a problem. Yeah, sure. I just need to see it. I feel like I need to see it. And
Right? Well, the computer can calculate just as well from over there as it can from here. So,
I am giving you a I have been unwillingly fed an entire bag of sour gummies look. So
right?
my mouth is both full and puckered. All right. All right. So so we're gonna do your ideas.
I always get confused between Explorer Waypoint.
So it's not really
We could do Precursor Vault Oracles. We could do Explorer Waypoint. We could do Derelict Oracles. Although,
let me look at sorry, I got distracted by so Oracle, well not Oracle. Functionally what we're doing. I love that I kind of love this a little bit because really what we're doing is we're exploring a waypoint.
right.
We're doing it in a weird way, but we're exploring the waypoint. We are exploring it psychically, but we're still exploring the waypoint. So I think that's the move. When you divert from an expedition to examine a notable, we're just doing it in a weird way because
But I think that's what we're doing.
yeah,
So,
on a strong hit, choose one. On a strong hit with a match, use to make a discovery. So we're rolling wits. So here's the thing.
yep,
You're rolling it. You're rolling
yep,
wits. You're taking a
yep,
+1 because we're using her
right,
fortune seeker or seer thing.
yep.
I would say that though, if it is a failure, the consequences are probably definitely going to be like companion takes damage or something along those
Yes,
lines.
like psychic
I think
backlash
it's got
kind
to
of
be
thing.
something that points at her,
Yep,
because
that
we're
makes sense.
definitely putting her at risk. And for the record, Quentin all of that, but
right?
yeah, let the record show. But yeah, I think this is a really
Just
cool idea.
all these worlds are yours except Europa. Attempt no landing there. So we are flying over, and we are very close to this thing. And like you said, there's no atmosphere,
Yeah,
so it's basically just doing a kind of a flyby of a big mountain on the
yeah,
asteroid size moon thing.
yeah. I mean, as
So
big as
I'm
this thing
basically
is,
piloting the ship,
it's like,
and I'm trying to give her the best view out the viewports that she can, because my assumption is that she'll get better vibes through the viewports. Yeah.
and I'm sitting there going, listen, we don't have to get like why are you getting so close? And you're like, I'm at a 50-kilometer orbit. We're close to
Right.
it because it's big.
Right.
I'm like, I don't like any of this. I don't like any of this at all.
And so on the screen, it's like, right, you see like the path and the mountain is getting bigger on the display, and in the meantime, in the viewport, all you can see is just this massive. And it's very like I'm getting the impression from your description, it's very termite med. It's got lots of projections and different nodes and stuff sticking up out
I
of it.
think to an extent, yeah, but at the same time, I do think it probably has a kind of I think it has a structure to it.
Mhm.
I think it looks built. I mean, I think it both looks built, but at the same time also has a a termite mound feel to it. So
Right.
both of those things are true.
Right. So
Um,
it's your Mayan temple, but really weirdly organic looking.
yeah, 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 exactly. That is
All right.
exactly where I was going.
Okay. The roll is happening.
Oh Lord,
Uh, well, that might work.
holy! All right, look at that strong hit. Jesus. Okay.
We didn't match, so
Okay,
we don't
we
get to
don't
make a
we don't
discovery
get to
check.
make a
Wait.
discovery, but strong hit. Certainly find an opportunity. Okay, so find an opportunity. So choose one. We can either find an opportunity, envision a favorable, blah blah blah, take +2 momentum, or gain progress. Mark
Oh,
progress on your expedition.
let's do that. I'm gonna back off my momentum, and I'm gonna say that this gives us the ability to figure out how to get out of here.
I think that is really interesting because yeah,
'Cause I
I
have a connection that I can make to this right now.
really.
So you remember when I was doing my, Bond intro sequence thing, and I got that giant map, the
Oh
huge, like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
wall
yeah,
thing
yeah.
that was the map, and I said, "This is perfect. All I need to do is figure out where everything is on this map and then connect it to our solar system, and we'll have a whole map of the solar system." And so in the evenings, I've sat there, staring at this map trying to figure it out, but I'm missing key information. I'm thinking maybe this provides us like a "you are here" sort of thing that matches up with something on that map that I found, so that suddenly the star charts.
Do we say like that Cole basically says, bring me the map, and you haven't talked
Yeah,
to her about it. She hasn't
right.
seen this thing.
I mean, she knows it exists because I
You
keep disappearing, and people
yeah.
are like, "Oh, he's playing with his map."
Yeah, and yeah, the thing with the big plate, and she hasn't like what, but she's
Yeah,
like, "Bring me the map, bring me the," and like the eyes again, like, "Bring me the map."
right. And I'm
So
like,
like
"Can I
she,
just bring you a picture of the map? 'Cause it's not I can't think I can move it in here by myself."
take me to it.
Yeah, so we will, adjourn to the map room.
Um,
And the map room is full of all of these like discarded tablets and chunks of food wrappers and multiple open bottles of liquor and all this like some actual paper books that are, strewn about. And then like one chair that's in the center of the room facing this map. And you come in
so
and you tell me you
I
had
think when we
started.
start to move, she's like, "No, I can't see. You have to take me." So
Oh wow, yeah.
you're leading, you're like getting the door, and I'm like carrying her in, like it's like setting her down in front of it, and she just
Right. And I'm
immediately
like
like,
kicking wrappers out of the way and stuff.
and she looks like kind of stares at it and then points and like, "We're here." And like gives us a point of reference, which means that once we're actually ready to jump, we actually have a point that we know
Correct.
on the map is also a point that we know in the system.
Exactly, and that is huge for not just getting to the next thing, but in general for us having connections, because as soon as she says that, I immediately am like, "Oh, if that's true, then here," and I point and, like, "That means that this thing," and I point at the, like, crystal ship that we
Yeah,
did not go, like, "That must be this," and, 2 other things that we've encountered,
nice.
I'm like, "Well, that must be this, and this must be that."
Do you have a quest for?
The map? No, I should though.
You should though. I think you should have. This is we're gonna have to retro our way into this, but like,
Can I make it a vow, do you think?
yeah, no, 100%. You should have a vow for like essentially decoding the precursor star map. Do it under I guess you do it under progress and then make a vow and do it on your sheet. Yeah, yeah. And I would probably,
Well, I'm gonna say that I've made no progress on it up to this point. That this is suddenly
well,
like,
you gotta first of all do
like,
your swear and iron vow thing. So that's under quest. This is good because I was thinking to myself, you haven't really done any of like done any other questing stuff, and that's kind of where you're getting XP off of the weird stuff, so you're hardly suffering. But having a vow to be worth is also good. Mastering the symbiote is going to be no.
right.
There's a reason that you don't roll this very often because it's hard.
Exactly.
Oh, but that
Ooh,
one's a gift.
that's at least a hit.
Okay, so good deal.
Yeah, more questions and answers at the beginning of the yeah, that makes
100%. Yeah, that's all good. So that was we get
we're gonna say that happened a while back, so
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah, yeah.
ignore that
Return
momentum,
move
but
again. Yeah, return request with more answers. All right, and then this definitely gives you. Now the question is it troublesome, difficult, formidable? Probably not epic or extreme.
no, I'm guessing that it is difficult, at least, and maybe even formidable because I was lacking information, and with this sudden insight, maybe we mark it twice because now.
I think it. Let's have it be difficult. I don't think it needs to be formidable. Difficult's pretty good, and that'll move you forward two every time. Because once you start to get the pieces, I think the penny starts to drop. right?
Right.
So I would advance it now from what she just did. I think that's definitely because you're got like points of reference.
Right,
Yes.
right. And so, I mean, I still don't fully understand the way that space is laid out on this map, but for the stuff that was relatively near us here, like
Yeah.
the Crystal South, it suddenly makes
The
sense.
problem is like Sirocco is crawling with vaults. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say it. And there's no indication based on what you know, you look at where Sirocco's at and there's nothing there.
Nothing.
So,
Yeah.
and that's not really possible, which means you don't fully understand the map. Not that the
Correct.
map doesn't have anything there, it's that like there's some extra
Yeah.
element to
Basically,
this.
none of the parts of this sector that we consider civilized, none of the planets that we know about are locatable on this map and
Yeah.
still not.
Yeah. So that would indicate to me that because the only thing that you've mentioned that like you can actually look at and say, okay, well, that's probably this bit right here, the symbol I've never seen before. And but it's only stuff that's really, really close to this that really can't be anything
Yeah.
but that. Anything at
Right.
distance, it's still nothing seems to track. And you're like,
Right.
what?
But I think that there's enough star patterns that if I get the computer to crunch on it for a while, it'll still give us a route out of here and back
Oh
to
yeah.
places.
Well, you've got some other, and we've got also just you can take. Well, I think, are you all right? I say to Cole.
Um, well, I wouldn't say that I'm all right. I will say I'm started getting the hang of this. I don't know if you want to use the word possession.
I definitely do not want to use that word. No, actually. Thank you for asking. If we could find any
Let's say
other
an
word.
altered state of consciousness, like a fugue state. I don't know. I've read a lot of things. I was trying to research this back when I was with the sisters, and there's a lot of literature and a lot of things it could be,
Does
but it doesn't like feel so weird. It just feels like that's why I was able to say, "Go take me to the map," and not just like stand there spouting nonsense.
does any of that literature begin with "Here they be dragons"? Because I will admit I'm not.
If you're asking, was I researching not just science but also legends, then yes.
You know what? Let's. I'll be simpler about this. I'm proud of you. Well done. I hope.
Kiri's full blown, like, got the computer and is, like, scanning over this section and, like, multiple things, like, connecting stars and trying to, like, do all these overlays and has got multiple tablets, like,
Yeah.
crawling over
You're just
this
kind of
thing.
going by in the background where we're trying to have this heart to heart little thing. It's
Yeah.
just like this is like.
Yeah, and I'm just, like, literally, like, running past you and, like, chunks of wrappers are getting kicked up into the air around you.
I wonder if I scan it with X-rays. Maybe that'll.
Yeah.
And there's like a crash, and I just don't even like, well done. I hope sincerely that we don't. And that's going to either be the guiding star of the rest of this or an incredibly ironic statement in less than 3 sessions. So,
Well, and she just kind of, like, looks philosophical about it, and she knows that she doesn't want knows you don't want her to say, "Yeah, good luck with that,"
I don't,
but that's what she's thinking.
I don't want to, I don't want you to feel as though we're taking, you have a desire, then
Well, let me ask you this. Do you feel like people are taking advantage of you when you make an iron vow? Go and try to solve something and use what skills and talents you've developed over many years, many long years?
uh,
Do you find that that is people taking advantage of you? Or do you
oh,
find it's your chance to actually use and do something that you never thought you'd be able to do and actually make useful?
Uh, what I feel is that both of those things can be, and in my case, are true. 100%. Are people taking advantage of me? Yes. To be fair, that is my job, is to be taken advantage of. That is, they are literally using me to have an advantage. That's what we're for. That is not necessarily, I mean, you didn't sign on for that. And my
I didn't
role,
sign up to be left and treated really badly by a bunch of sisters who really wanted to use me and abuse me to basically replace the entire Ironsworn. So I
fair
think I'll
point.
take this destiny myself.
And that I can entirely well done. In all seriousness, I think it is a remarkable gift. I will not insult your intelligence by saying be careful because, of course, you have obviously put years of thought into this. I am.
Well, I mean, for something that's basically entirely unknown to me, then yeah.
I mean, that is everything going forward in life is going to be a thing that is on. What should
Okay,
we?
yes, I could also
What should we call this?
Satan's Archive. Just think of it like when there's a national park that's kind of in the middle of
Let's
Nebraska, I think, but they have these things that they call the devil's corkscrews, and they were basically these burrows made by prehistoric prairie dogs, and they instead of, like, a straight down hole into their den, they actually dug these corkscrew dens,
oh
and then
wow.
they would get and then they got filled up with, rock and then fossil. Then
Oh,
they got
wow.
then they got discovered as basically fossils that are these huge corkscrews, and they called them the Devil's Corkscrew because, of course, that's what they do with everything, just like Devil's Tower, Devil's Corkscrew. It was weird, it's
Sure.
devil, and then they eventually found these ancient beaver prairie dog things inside it, we're like, "Oh, it's just their burrow." They just happen to make corkscrew ones.
I'm gonna call it megalith, which is a structure made of many large, like enormous slabs. That seems
'Kay.
a little on the nose, but that way we can at least. If you want, you can. All right. Oh, and the other thing we forgot was that fancy little shared. I do like the being able to use this as a exploring the waypoint becomes valuable if you can actually hit it, like
Right.
to keep advancing it, and maybe so we don't have to do 7 more jumps. It's like, let's explore every waypoint and try to like we need more clues about where we are.
Yeah, no, as soon as it was like, "You have a huge clue to advance your current quest," I'm like, "Oh."
Hello. All right. So we can proceed carefully.
Alright,
Carefully.
added star map.
All right. Good deal. Oh, and I think because I think develop your relationship.
I think that was a pretty good
I
development.
think well that, but it's also you get it for leveraging their help during
Oh,
this.
that too.
So
Kind of ironic that you get advanced for doing the very thing you were talking about,
yeah,
using people.
I'm aware. That's why I say this is either a guiding star or going to be hugely ironic in the future.
Right.
Leveraging their help in desperate circumstances, sharing a profound moment. I don't know if it. What do you think? I'm fine with it
I
not being.
think it was both. I think it was both. I think you should take 2 advances on it personally. Mhm, mhm.
I would like that to
Yeah, you don't
go
want it to
smooth. So
so, well, we're gonna continue to fly around this thing and scan it. The computer's got some time that still needs to calculate, but now instead of 18 hours, it's like
oh yeah,
4
we got
hours.
a lot more. Yeah, exactly. A little bit of time here.
But we are continuing to scan this megalith and, for future reference, and I'll, in the middle of the night be looking at that as well.
That is
Ooh, I think I would like to, and maybe this connects to what you're talking about or not, but I'd like to, as we're kinda coming around the back of the megalith, find a chunk of a starship that we recognize, like a a chunk of something that is like technology that we
like
recognize
one
as
of
like
ours,
being
like
ours.
something. So not a settlement, but like a sign that somebody was out here exploring at some.
Yeah, or, they lost a chunk of ship or they left like a crashed probe or something like that, that shows that, okay, so maybe those people that had the kind of put together ship with the snails on it, maybe they were.
Let's look at the oracle for derelict. I
I was
think
looking at that earlier.
I think it's probably not. I think we don't look at condition because I don't think it's something where because we're just saying it's there. So it's more about using it to go like, well, what did we learn about it? But I think it's definitely the condition is like non-salvageable. There's like just
Yeah.
floating chunks of this thing. You think it's on the planet or is it in orbit
Yeah, I think it's crashed into the side of
and corpses?
boom.
I think I think it's in space. Like we talked about the thing being up high. It's in a relatively low orbit, but there's no atmosphere, so it's not like it's going to degrade very much. It's a small planet, so
Right.
you don't have to be going that fast to stay up.
And the gravity is semi-neutral, actually.
But yeah, it's one of those things where any of the detritus debris field from a destroyed ship is just going to float along with the ship, right? So the
Right,
bodies
right,
are
right.
just mixed in with that
Oh, gross.
near like floating still up in space, like basically perfectly preserved. I think we recognize the suits as much as we recognize
Mhm.
uh
Well, like I said, I wasn't sure what it was that we found, but it just being, yeah, a bunch of, like, floating
yeah.
in the air.
I think that is and honestly, I think while it bothers me to leave them where they are, to take them aboard only to give them another space burial, another burial
Yeah.
burial in space seems honestly ridiculous, perfectly honest.
Well, let's see if we can photograph their suits and if there's markings on them that
We can at
if we
least
can find,
inform
yeah, next
families,
of kin or
that
whatever.
sort of thing. Yeah, you think you can get close enough? Something that reminds me actually of that ship, the Frankenstein ship that we found.
Mm.
Uh,
Well, the style of suits is not that different what they had on that ship either, so but those I mean, it's not
we
like there's
had
a
a
lot.
series of explorers. Let me go. I never got a chance. We got interrupted. I never got a chance to actually listen to those the SOS recording. So while you're circling in here, I'm gonna take a look at that while you're doing.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I think I should do a move to see if I can recognize.
Okay. Uh,
I think that's gonna be a information.
yeah. Let me. So if it's could do gather information, could be.
Yeah, or secure an advantage.
I like the idea of being checked like as gear being information, but
Mhm.
probably it's. I just want to compare the two of them.
Yeah, I think it's either gather information or secure an advantage.
It really kind of boils down a little bit to I think it's probably gathering because you look at what you're actually doing. Your security advantage is assessing a situation, make preparations, attempt to gain leverage. You're like trying to get a leg up on a thing you're about to do, whereas gather information is just clues,
Yeah.
analyzing evidence, doing research. It's only going to really help you with what's your momentum.
7.
Okay, well, so it can actually do you some good, which is good. If you pull that off, so I would just, I think
Yeah,
it's,
it looks like at least a weak hit, yeah.
you can burn
That's
momentum
good.
when the whole point's to get momentum, burning momentum to go from a weak to a strong hit.
Yeah, I mean, especially for this,
Yeah,
right?
no, I wouldn't do that at all.
I think I'm gonna actually take my +1. So there's a
Also complicate the
complication,
play.
which
I like that.
yeah, so I think the complication is that, yeah, these suits do match the people from the Hodgepodge ship, and so what does that mean? Why are they out here? There's not like an escape pod or anything, it's literally just people in spacesuits floating around here. Did they get pushed out the airlock? Like, what happened? Now we have to figure out what happened.
Yeah. Well, I think the ship it looks like my think take was that the ship got broken apart and they were
Yeah.
left to float. I'm looking at character goals as an oracle. If I can, to give me an idea of what's going on with the with that SOS.
So is the falsehood that we are the only ships that made it to this sector, and that in truth, there's a whole 'nother population of people that made it here that we don't know?
Well, this is more about what their goal was, refute a false.
Could be the
I
same from
think
the other direction.
well, sure, yeah, that part of the SOS message. It doesn't really tell like they once they got here, they were investigating the precursor vault. I think the thing that it reveals is that they are from another, and while it was 100 years ago, it was not 2 or 300 years ago, and we've been here 2 or 300 years. So they came here since we've been here and did so by navigating through the balefire that we thought was an insurmountable barrier between other sectors and why we haven't been in communication, why we haven't out
Right,
is what we've always been our understanding has always been you can't get through and they did. And
right.
here is another ship,
Yes.
same essential technology. Let's say, I mean, it's all pretty physically close to each other. Space is big, but ship in the fleet. That was again coming here and poking around things. Didn't make contact with us. Came here from a nearby sector, despite the balefire in the way. What that tells me is that other sectors, either we've always misunderstood it, or other sectors have figured out ways to, at some level, get through the balefire and haven't bothered to tell us. Maybe think we're already dead.
Right, but why? Right, that's the
Yeah,
question.
yeah, and that doesn't necessarily. I don't think we get that answer. I think we get that
Yeah.
they're from someplace else and they came here, like they came through the balefire, and that tells me something maybe about Cobalt Reach. Certainly that they
Well, and I
came.
think
I think they
yeah, I
also the
think
other thing we figure out is that they came the whole falsehood that we can't get to Cobalt Reach. They're completely cut off. I think that's the falsehood. Like we didn't need to be cut off. We were cut off. We didn't need to be.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm ready to close the mystery yet, but I think that the
No,
idea that,
yeah,
like you
no.
said, that the balefire is not as impassable as we thought it was. What does that mean? And actually, what does that mean for right now when we're trying to get back through it? Does that mean there's another route to going through Paradox?
I didn't even think
Right?
about that. Like,
Right. I mean, to me, that's evidence, in addition to the star map, right? That this is evidence that, hey, there's definitely another way through here other than the way that we thought.
hold that thought. I'm gonna go back. Okay, so just recently, in fact, here, like when we got to this location, we failed our progress on concluding the expedition. Your destination has
Right.
lost you, or you come to understand the true nature of the expedition. Vision what happens and choose one. Abandon the expedition. Or return the expedition, roll the challenge dice, reset the number, raise the expedition. I would, what if, this is my suggestion, what if, so that happened when we got here, nowhere near where we need to be, but this information plus between the star map, back to your thing, and the fact that they came in through the Bellfire, maybe some information from that, like specific coordinates that they mentioned or something like that,
Hmm.
we also renamed the progress instead of
Get to
get to the
Cobalt Reach
waypoint.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
instead of get to the waypoint to Cobalt Reach, it's get to Cobalt Reach direct.
Yeah.
And we already have chart the new route to Cobalt Reach as a vow.
Hmm.
I think that's what this is. Like This isn't about us like getting ahead. Like it's about us like literally going. We're going straight off the map because
Yeah,
we
so we may not be going down that red line at all. We may be going straight down from here.
exactly, yeah. Oh
You
yeah,
need to go into town mode and then
yeah. No, it did. It just said get to Cobalt Reef. Wow. Okay.
mhm,
I like that. I think that is like because I mean we're already reworking the whole thing anyways. Yeah, we're basically like okay, well we're gonna backtrack. Because maybe in this, maybe in the SOS thing, like
arm
the transponder code and stuff like that, it's got like jump histories and things of that nature that we can
mm,
kind of use to
mm, I
like
like that.
like between that and the star map and all this other kind of stuff, I think we can literally just say, screw this, we're going a different way.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole unexpected twist.
Yep, I like that.
Okay,
I like
cool,
that.
cool.
That's why I'm just like, "Okay, so if I was flying around this, what would I see?" I'm like, "I wanna see something that is, like, really unexpected, like a." And then it's like, "Okay, well, then you roll the oracle, and then it's like, it's bodies, and it's like, oh, okay, what does that mean?" That's what I like about this.
All right, I think it's time to do a jump, and I think that you're the one with the star map. So
And so the question is, are we trying to jump as close to where we think Cobalt reaches based on the coordinates you had and the star map, whatever that was able to tell us? Or are we trying to go back the way we thought we were going to come?
no, I think what we're doing is we were headed for Paradox, which is essentially we were heading west, and instead we're going to be heading south. Which
Right.
meant, can I just tell you this? It means that all the building that we did on the damn map was the wrong direction. Handing it out this way, we needed to expand. Whatever, it's
That's
fine.
that's fun. That's life.
It is what it is.
All right. So is that an exploration move?
It
We're
is. We're
taking
gonna we're gonna undertake the expedition.
all right. Well, I'm going to give myself a +1 for the star map.
I
And do you want to take another +1 for the ciphering the SOS message and potential coordinates that were in there?
No, because that was really a conclusion of the previous thing. That was really it's really more just narrative than anything else, I think. So I think that's just that. But if you want to take
Probably at least a week.
okay, on a week hit, you reach a waypoint, but this progress costs you. Envision the location and mark progress per the rank of the expedition, but choose one. Okay, so we've got to share. We get our shared sheet up here.
Mm.
Get to Cobalt Reach. We get to
And I assume for suffer moves, we would basically just lose some resources. Is that what I'm
yeah, suffer cost in or out, make a suffer move or two suffer. So either you take, however we envision. We probably I always find it easier to like say, well, tell me what's here so I can figure out like if it says violent storm, space storm, then I go like, okay, well maybe we take some integrity damage or something like that. But
sure.
get a little bit more info about what the deal is, and then from there maybe figure out whether or not we do that or whether
Okay.
there's waypoints update by waypoint. We are in the stellar object. All right.
So in Space Encounter Oracles, stellar.
What I want is this cosmic matter stuff where it's like debris field, dense nebula cloud, fiery energy. All right, stellar object, glowing orange star. Okay.
Okay.
So there's nothing immediately evident as to what might.
Yeah.
Okay.
It may just be that it was like a long jump or something, or maybe it's something where that fuel that we got from the ship decides to not be as effective as we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, because our supply
Or-
is at what is it? I guess our supplies. Yeah, we could take a double hit to supply just because the fuel's not full of crystals. I did say they were
Right.
in
Yeah.
the
We could discuss that the snails have made it here. That could be a process.
but in this case, let's just go, man, that used up a lot of fuel. Like, that used up a lot of fuel. That's just
Yeah. That
odd.
jump made so.
Let's see. Okay, so we get it. We got a progress. We're just gonna real quickly. We did. I'm gonna say we didn't.
Yeah. So it did say mark progress for the rank of
And
the
I did.
expedition. So
I
yeah.
did.
Okay. So we did
think
move.
I.
I don't think I just saw progress.
Yeah, go to the Cobalt
Yeah.
reaches now at a. We've
Oh.
had two advances.
Okay.
We're good. Uh,
So I'm thinking that maybe we do a resupply or an attempted resupply, and that may be something where we go and try to like do mine an asteroid, and convert it to
or
fuel.
we do. Yeah,
Like,
we do like a skimmer thing, like a
yeah.
like a.
Mhm.
Let's see. Are there any useful planets? We'll go straight Oracle. Are there any useful
There, I think it's just the way that it's organized.
no useful. Is there anything useful in the system that we could use for a reason? Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Go back over to oracles and we'll go to a.
Maybe secure an advantage.
Well, I'm trying to think. I want to see if we can get the oracle to toss up a what the hell is here then if it's not a
We don't have a planet here, so maybe
we
we
don't
roll for a planet.
well we the thing is I just did 2 yes or no oracles at like 50% chances. Are there planets here we can use to refill? No. Is there
Oh,
anything
okay.
here that we can use to
Oh, okay.
resupply?
Well, then we can do, like, space-time encounters.
Yeah,
Space encounter oracles,
oh
stellar
yeah, space
object,
encounter, yeah,
spaceborne peril, spaceborne opportunity. I like the idea.
oh,
Do it.
friendly
Friendly starship crosses your path. Whoa. Whoa. I don't know how I feel about
I might have to sit with this one for a bit.
that. Well, it doesn't have to be there's people we can talk to. It just has to be, like, not an enemy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, and I don't
So it
get it's
could still be
fine.
derelict. It could be,
Well, I it
um
says friendly it says friendly. I honestly like that, but
I mean,
it
that's always the thing with the oracles is you gotta sit with it and figure out what that means.
yeah, yeah. This is why I always cut out the 20 minutes of me sitting on the couch there and, like, just staring at the ceiling going, "What the fuck? Why?"
Yeah.
See, the one I say derelict ripe for the picking, things like but friendly starship.
Mm.
I think that there's probably going to be some negotiation and some talking and some trading or something like that. I just said a word that made me suddenly think of like some junk ship. I say that in the sense of the sailing ship that is the
Yep.
class of junk.
Right.
Like
Yes.
some what is it? We're back to Star Trek again. The dude with the fur, like the furs, the
Oh,
trader guy,
Harvey Mudd.
Harvey
Yes.
Mudd, like the some guy who's just like puttering along at like the slowest possible, one hex at a time, like thing, just picking up
Yeah.
crap and bringing it into trade like once a year.
Well, I also like the idea that we can kind of debate how much he actually knows about where he is.
What is that actor's name? God, he was so much fun whenever he was, and he always played basically the same character, just in different
Yeah, yeah.
contexts. He was great.
Roger Carmel.
I love the guy. I love the idea of him. Yes, we need to do this, but let's leave it here. It's like, and I'm just going to throw in one thing that I remember really, really, since really
Oh, it's Harry Mudd, not Harvey. Sorry.
Harry Mudd. I'm going to throw in something else from another 70s TV show and say that like we're out here. It's like like that God that used a lot of fuel, and we're like kind of talking about. It's like I don't know. Maybe we can resupply this star here, but there's no planets. There's rocks, but nothing that we could even use. I'm not going to guys.
Yeah.
And then we get Grudge gets on the things like I'm picking up a ship's like telemetry ping. We're getting hailed from the number 7, and I'm just gonna go, yeah, I know who that is. Yeah, he's not that's friendly. Don't worry about it. Is that good news? Honestly, I don't I know who it is.
Okay.
Uh so yeah, I think this is a
It
guy that
it
I've just run into before. Like that like
okay. Now the question that I'm having, and again, we don't have to answer this, but just something to ponder,
uh-huh.
is this a real trader? Is it a real person from our area that just wanders around? Is it a person from this 100-year-old, group? Or is it like a Q-like figure who is like, we have no idea who.
I think I think a couple things. I think that he's not from around here. He's covered it up really well for a long time, and that is maybe something that may be hinted at or implied or
Mm,
something like that.
mm,
We start to figure stuff out. Whether or not he's a Q character as such, that's one question. But he has been flying around in weird space for a long time.
mm.
So whether or not
Yeah,
he
I'm very curious to see how he and Cole get along.
oh, yeah, I like all of that. I think that's a lot of fun. But yeah, I think that there's a real possibility there for yeah, for just yeah, there's a whole bunch of reasons why he could be not quite right.
Yeah.
But starting from the number 7 thing is that prospector from Grizzly Adams that he just numbered his mules rather than naming them.
Oh,
And I just like the ship's
right.
name is number 7 because it's the 7th one.
Mhm.
You know, all right, this is steak. I kind of love this because it's like, okay, we got a much longer trip. Yeah, but we're gonna actually get where we're going, like in theory. Um,
In theory.
as
Still
we,
gotta make some good rolls 'cause we still got a long tracker to fill in.
I'm gonna put.
But
Here, I'm gonna grab this. Well, we're not, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna put our ship out here. Woo! I'm gonna grab our ship and move us like just a couple of squares down, and
okay.
that's where we are. But we don't have another like marker.
Yeah, I was looking at my progress trackers as I was closing my character sheet. Decipher the map one. And I'm suddenly like, wouldn't it be weird if it was a Marauders map thing where, suddenly I look down and, like, this guy's ship is showing up on the map?
Oh,
And it's
oh,
like, what does that mean?
oh my god, that would be okay, that's really tempting. I'm not gonna lie, that's super tempting.
Something like that maybe, right? And maybe it's not that, he is an ancient force that is so well known to these people that they track him on this map. Maybe it just tracks everybody who's nearby. Who knows?
I think what would be really funny is if, like, you head up to the bridge when you realize that there's a and, like, Cole has been looking at the map too, like,
Mm,
now that it's kind of out there that there's this map and stuff,
yeah,
and, like, you walk out and she kinda looks and does a double take and sees, like, this thing kinda raise up on the thing, and rather than calling you back or saying, she's like, "Huh," and just keeps going, like,
right.
we're given to understand she may bring it up later, but it doesn't like that's not enough of a development for her to immediately call you back and go, "Hey,
Right.
wait a minute."
Yeah, I could just see her, like, look up from her data pad and be like, "Make note of that." Like, just move on.
Huh. All right. Well, cool. All right.
Very good. That was a good twist at the end
That's
there.
good. And this thing just, I mean, one of the big challenges is like finding a place to wrap it up because it will just keep delivering more complications and stuff. But if you aim it right, man, this thing delivers. Good
Yeah.
stuff. All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Alright, good night.